A lot of heart chakra openings are happening right now. A lot of heart chakra openings are happening where you're starting to recognize where you still have so much resentment and anger and fear in your heart. And a lot of you are recognizing that fear of the unknown is one of the biggest things. These two shadows have been coming up a lot in the collective. It has been, what is it? Control, avoidance, and fear. Control, avoidance, and fear. You try to control your situation. So we're going to do a collective reading, and then we'll get into some personal ones, Janika. So just hang in there. It'll probably be about 45 minutes. But yeah, we try to control the outcome, and that control can come in the form of doing nothing. Because if we do nothing to move forward, if we do nothing, if we don't do the things that scare us or that make us uncomfortable, then we can control the fact that we won't get. Hi, Hickey. Hey, Jay. We could control the fact that we won't get abandoned. We can control the fact that we won't be rejected. So your control and your freeze response that you've been in functional freeze for a long time. You're overwhelmed. You are constantly stimulated. You're addicted to dopamine. You're constantly, it's just like a cycle, and you're like so tired of it because you can tell how you're the one that's contributing to your suffering now. Because of the way that you're eating, the sleeping patterns, scrolling all day, the substances, all these different things. And so you recognize how you've been having these coping patterns that are not good for you anymore. But it's just frustrating because a lot of you guys are clinging to this part of you. You're clinging to this part of you that copes in this way, knowing that it's not helping you anymore. And so this is where a lot of you guys are feeling so frustrated with yourself right now in the collective, on why you're stuck and stagnant. I feel so stuck. I feel so lost. I feel so this and that. And sometimes we're meant to be lost. We're meant to feel stagnant. We're not meant to know everything that's happening all the time. Thank you. And so sometimes you have to surrender to the fact that you're in a chapter right now where you're not supposed to know. You're supposed to heal. You're not supposed to be building a business right now. You literally have just gone through all this like trauma. You just went through a breakup. You just went through something, There's points in the journey where it's time to build the business, and there's points in the journey where it's time to just sit still and just be. And a lot of you guys, as we're coming into the fall and winter months, because you guys know January is not the new year. January is not the new year. The new year is March 21st. 3, 2, 1. 3, 2, 1 is March. This is why a lot of us fall off our goals in January, because in the dead of winter is not when you're supposed to start a new project or give life or birth to something. The rest of the world is hibernating, but the only people in humans. No, I'm going to follow the trees, and I'm going to follow the animals, and I'm going to follow the people that are not being manipulated on this planet, which is the animals and nature. So I'm going to follow nature, and I'm going to go into a hibernation, and I'm going to reflect and see what things in my business that I want to change going forward. I'm going to have some deep reflection on some things that I can do better, some deep reflection on how I could be more efficient and different things. And so a lot of you are going to be coming into a deep reflection this winter on what it is that you want to do. You're going to be planting the seeds, and then come spring, they are going to be ready to bloom. Come spring, they are going to be ready to bloom. But you need to figure out what it is, or do you want to have another year of not really knowing, yes, a collective reading, of not really knowing what you're doing, and then using the excuse that you don't know. Well, who could know but you? Again, maybe we're not supposed to know at certain times, but there are times where you are supposed to intentionally sit still and actually seek out the answer. There is a time where you have to let go of the readings. You have to put down the phone, and you have to turn off all the noise and sit still and actually say, what makes me happy and why am I not doing it? I've known my whole life that I love playing music. I love to speak, but yet I found myself in banking. And I actually just had my 6-year anniversary of leaving corporate America this past weekend. I didn't even realize 11/1 is the first day that I landed in LA. From Florida to LA, I packed up my house, quit corporate America after 10 years of climbing the ladder and making a name for myself. I gave away all my dresses and suits and pants, and went to LA with no job and no apartment. And I said, I just have to do this. This is so fun. And I was so excited. I thought I was going to be so scared when I was on the plane. I was so excited. I was like, I don't have to get up tomorrow. I don't have to go to a computer and act like I care. I don't have to go sit down and talk with people that I don't even care. I don't have to go and sit in a meeting and to pretend to care about a freaking Excel spreadsheet that I probably didn't even get it right. I didn't even do it because I don't care. I don't have to, I can literally sleep if I want to. I felt like I was like a kid all over again. It was weird. It felt like it was like a kid that finally just moved out of their parents' house for the first time and no one can call them and say, come home and what time are you going home? Even though I live by myself, I already bought my house and own my home at this point, you know, for 5 years at this point. So I've been on my own. I'm well into my, you know, early 30s, 20s at this point, late 20s. So I've had the freedom, but not the freedom from working. I've had the freedom from mom and dad at this point, but I had never had the freedom of like the idea that I have to do something. I need to have a job. I need to go somewhere every day. I was so, you know, convinced with the rest of society, like this is what makes me happy. Then I woke up and I said, well, I'm not happy. So why am I continuing to do this every day if I'm not happy? This seems like insane. This seems like this is the definition of insanity that Einstein was talking about. Doing the same thing every single day and expecting a different result. I don't like what I'm doing. I'm bored. I'm good at it. I don't like what I'm doing, and I'm not even making enough money to say, okay, I don't like what I'm doing, but at least I'm making some money where I can actually take a vacation and not have to cut corners and stay in cheap stuff because I can't afford it. At least I can, you know, this is not my favorite thing to do, but the money pays so well that I'm actually able to, you know, provide a life that I really desire on the outside. And we'll work on the job thing later, but at least I'm able to, you know, get the things that make me feel comfortable outside of work, and I'm able to go to dinners and buy the type of food, and I can afford the type of lifestyle that makes me feel good. No, it's none of that. I don't like what I'm doing at the job, and I'm broke. So please tell me what the incentive is. Please tell me what the incentive is. I don't like what I'm doing. I'm bored. It's like, it's not, you know, it's not like we can just do whatever. Humans are intelligent. We are smart. We are passionate. We are creative. If you're not doing something that stimulates you, it's horrible. It doesn't mean that it's a terrible job. It doesn't mean that it's shitty. It's just not for you. And the more that you can surrender to that and say, it doesn't mean that you're a bad person. You're not stupid. Just because I'm not interested in banking, I used to think that I was so dumb. I'm like, why don't I care to move up like everybody? Why am I not as like gung-ho? I don't care. Like, and at the end of the day, I just don't. And honestly, a lot of times I was comfortable with the money. I never outspent myself. I was raised by a very frugal mother. So it wasn't like I was over here, I need to move up because of the money. I was fine. I'm a single, by myself, no kids, nothing. I pay off my car. I'm not extravagant. I'm not the type of person that's like Gucci. There's nothing wrong with that. That's just not, I don't care about those things. And so I've always lived nice. I've traveled. That's what I do. I spend my money on traveling. So I was just like, so there's no reason, like I'm good at it, it's fine. No, it's not just about the money. I actually want to be stimulated and excited when I get up. I don't want to spend 8 to 10 hours doing something just that because it pays well, but it's not challenging me the way that I want to be challenged. That doesn't feel good to me. And as soon as I could surrender that it's not just about the money, and then I recognize that I can make money. Look at these fitness trainers, because I got into fitness before I got into life coaching. My first thing from corporate America was to become a personal trainer because I loved the gym, and that was the first logical step. And saying, okay, since I love this, I know I can train people. I'm already training people for free anyway. People are always asking for my food advice because I post about it. So people are just like, hey. And so this is what I go to tell you guys. At the time where I became a fitness instructor, I was already meal prepping for people. I was already running a full business around fitness, but I didn't have the degree, essentially. I didn't have the degree. And that's where I was like, okay, I need to have this because this really people can get hurt. I want to make sure I know what I'm doing. But I had a whole business impromptu. It wasn't even something I was trying to do. I was passionate about it. I was consistent in it. People knew I was going to post every single morning my workout. People knew I was going to post my meals. And that consistency, that just built my business for me. And I was like, damn, well, I guess. And it was just like, this just makes sense. I got to the point where I was like, I'm done with corporate America. I don't want to do this. Naturally, I started building, spirit started showing me that you could do this by sending people that I wasn't even advertising as a fitness instructor. I was just a banker who was just sharing her weight loss or her fitness journey. That's all I was doing. I was just a banker who was just sharing her journey, and I loved it so much, and I literally did not miss a day. I became so disciplined and dedicated to my gym that it turned into a career. So that's what I'm trying to tell you. When you love yourself, when you pour into yourself, when you do things, people feel it. People know where it's coming from, and they don't give a damn if you don't have a piece of paper. No, I want to look like you, and I want to have the energy that you have. I don't care that you don't have a fitness degree. I see how you look, and I can feel your energy, Kristen. It doesn't lie. This is what I'm saying. So the business found me. The money found me. And the same thing happened with this coaching. After I did the fitness and moved to LA and I made the most money I ever made, I went from making around $2,500 a month in corporate America to $10,000 a month in fitness. doing meal plans, training people one-on-one, working at gyms, doing group fitness. I use all these different avenues of fitness and my creativity and my leadership skill sets to make 10K a month. So don't tell me that you got to be working out here to do this and do that. No, I got to wake up and tell people, okay, I'm going to start my schedule at this time, and I got to do this. I still burnt myself out because I was still in that capitalistic mindset really deeply. Even though I was working for myself, I still was very conditioned. So I still was working from like 5 in the morning until like 8 o'clock at night, and I got burned out of fitness and I couldn't stand it. And so then I realized that I wanted to go deeper. I said, you know what? I love fitness, and this was a great liaison out of corporate America into like figuring out how to navigate, because we don't know how to like navigate our time. They didn't teach us how to manage our time because they're like, we'll manage it for you. And then they know when you try to do it yourself, it's really hard because no one taught you how to stay on your shit. This is why you need to go somewhere and someone has to monitor you and supervise you. This is why you have a supervisor to make sure you're doing what you need to do, because they know that humans get bored. They know that if we're doing something for too long, we get tired. That's why they pay people to, so can you supervise yourself? I said, let me supervise my damn self. Let me supervise my damn self. Okay, from 8 to 9, I want to do the meal plans. I'm going to work on this. And then from 9 to 12, I'm going to train people. And then from 12 to 1, I'm going to take a lunch. Ooh, this is so fun. And as I was doing it, I'm like, I love this. And then I found myself like still ending my day at like 6 o'clock. And I'm like, oh, I'm so tired. And then all of a sudden I woke up. I'm like, I don't have to end my day at 6 o'clock. I'm doing it because I'm so used to the 9 to 5. So then I was like, oh, I work from 11 to this. And it was just like so much freedom. And then I felt, but I had survivor's guilt, you guys. When I got out of the matrix, when I clocked out of the matrix, I had survivor's guilt for all my other friends and family that were like on a Tuesday. I'm sitting here at the damn beach with my laptop, you know, working on my clients and working on my shit. And then everyone's at work posting this and I'm like over here and I've had survivor's guilt. Did you know that you have survivor's guilt when you get out of the matrix in the beginning? I felt bad and I felt like people were just like, oh, you're so lazy. All the stuff from capitalism was just like burning me up. And I'm like, I'm not supposed to be like happy. I'm not supposed to be doing that. And I'm like, no, I did this. I took the leap of faith. I worked my ass off. I had to build this whole shit. I had to put myself out there and make flyers and say, hey, you know how hard it was? I never trained anybody professionally. It's a difference when you're saying, hey, you can work out with me for free and just take it. It's free versus, hey, I'm asking $60 for this session. And they're like, I better see some fucking results. There's a lot of difference between just having somebody work out with you and you're not charging them. Because if I'm not charging you, bitch, don't be coming at me. I'm helping you. You should be happy I'm helping you. But then when you turn that shit into a business and you start saying, hey, I think that this is worth $70. Okay, that's when the insecurity starts to come in. Well, is it? Well, damn, are they getting it? Well, and you start getting so many insecurities. Well, is it actually worth? Well, am I worth $70 an hour? Well, am I? Well, this is, well, shit. I mean, are they really getting it? And that's when you start getting into your head. And that's when the worthiness, and that's when you really see how much you really love yourself. And even though you couldn't stand in corporate America, even though you couldn't stand people telling you and not giving you the raise and you always wanted to make more money, you still don't feel deserving of it. You don't feel worthy of it. Because when you have the opportunity to make your own prices, you second guess it. When you have the opportunity to make your own prices, you shoot it down and you say, oh no, it's not, I'm not, and I can't. And so then you end up lowballing your prices because you want people to get in. So you're trying to help everybody and you're also projecting your lack mindset onto other people thinking that, well, I don't think I can afford this $80. Well, can I pay $100 for this? Well, you're not the one buying your services, babe. You're not the one buying your own services. So why are you projecting what you can afford on other people? Maybe your clientele has the money. Maybe you're catering to a different demographic than you. Okay? You're over here blocking your blessings because you don't believe that other people could afford it. You don't know what's in everybody's bank account. Just because you're in a place right now financially doesn't mean every single person. There is a lot of people right now that are struggling financially. There's a lot of people right now that this inflation and this economy, this what we're going through right now, a lot of people are suffering. This is it. We are in it. Okay. The groceries, all this stuff. This is wild. But there's also people that just booked a $5,000 flight to an island right now and they're not even thinking about it. They're over here like, what are you talking about? I just spent, what do you mean? I just spent $10,000 on a couch yesterday. What are you talking about? Eggs are expensive. What do you mean? What are you talking? I just spent $575 on a white t-shirt. What are you talking about? What do you mean eggs are, what is that? That's a reality for a lot of people too. So stop sitting here acting like everybody's on this earth like you. They're not. Not everybody is struggling financially on this earth. And if you go into your business with that mindset, then you're constantly going to attract a clientele that can't afford you, that are going to, and they're going to mirror that to you too, because that's when you get the clients that are like, what? $60 an hour? That's crazy. Oh my God, you're crazy. No, I'm not. Just because you can't afford it doesn't mean I'm not worth it. There's a big difference. So let's not get it twisted, and let's not try to knock people down for knowing what their worth is on their product and the time that it took, just because you can't afford it, babe. Stop projecting. Okay, a lot of us do that when we see a price and we immediately, oh, that's so expensive. According to who? You're just showing how much you make. You're just showing where you're at financially, babe. That's all you did was reveal your financial information. That's all you did by making those comments. That's why, just look at it, notice it. When someone says, oh, I spent $600 on a purse. No, it's not. It's subjective. Just notice it. Okay, it's $600. It's worth it because you thought it was. I don't think it's worth it, so that's why I wouldn't get it. It's not that I don't have the money. I just don't think it's worth it. I think it's worth it for me to spend $600 to go to Europe because I see more value in going to Europe than having a purse. But we're all different. That's why money and what we value and is subjective. And arguing with people on what they should and shouldn't do and spend their money on is fucking bullshit. It doesn't even make sense. It literally is pointless. You know? Yeah. Raised by my hourly consultation rate is $112. Ideal clients have no problem. I know, me too. Oh yeah, by the way, hi, I do readings and one-on-one coaching. A lot of you guys have been wanting coaching. You're like, where do I go from here? You have given me this book and we have the journal and your content is hitting and you have some, you give me all the things, but then what? I am a trauma and life coach. I specialize in healing your inner child and integrating shadow work, the two biggest things that you need to do in order to really step in and be confident. Okay? So, they are 30% off right now. Actually, let me update this really quickly while I'm here. My coaching sessions are 30% off right now. So yeah, if you want to get in, if you've been wanting to book a call, hold on. If you've been wanting to get a coaching call with me, now is the time to do it. I'm going to be keeping this price now until tomorrow, through tomorrow. So yeah, hold on. Let me, yeah, I'll adjust it. But yeah, so 45-minute get hype coaching calls, 45-minute one-on-one readings. So if you've been loving the readings, if you've been loving the in-depth that we do on here, get your own in-depth 45-minute reading. It is a coaching call / reading / hype up sesh. My sessions are not like anything else. I'm not a therapist. I am not a psychiatrist. I am me. I'm intuitive. I know what you're not saying. The way that you guys feel that I speak to your heart through the phone here, just here on this live, imagine when it's one-on-one on Zoom and I can actually see you and pick up on your energy. I know what you're not saying. I know the feelings that you're suppressing, and it's easy for me to help guide you to that so that you can understand how hurt you are. Some of your biggest blocks right now is that you don't really acknowledge how hurt you are. One of your guys' biggest blocks, some of you on here right now, you don't even acknowledge how much pain you're in, and this is why you can't heal it, because you are so far removed and disconnected. Okay, yay! Fair use. I'm so glad you're getting the book. Thank you so much. By the way, actually, let me add that. I think we have a few more of the booklet, guys. Let me add it here. We are... All right, so what they're talking about before we get into the reading, my book and my journal, awesome. I just ordered a new fulfillment. It should be coming in soon. The journal is out of stock. You guys really love the journal. The book, I think we have like 11 left. This will be sold out before the weekend's over by Monday. So make sure that you are getting your book. We have book club that will be at least once a month. We did our first one yesterday and it was really beautiful. Those of you that were there, thank you for coming. And yeah, so get into it with the book. If you guys have been loving, I can attest, I had a 12-minute conversation yesterday and felt more fortified than I have. Oh, gee, it was so good talking to you. It really was. I loved just chatting with you for that 10 minutes. Like, I hope that you're feeling better today. Yeah. So make sure you're getting your book. The link is here. Uncomfortable Truths, a book for breakthroughs. If you've been loving the stuff that I talk about, if you've been loving the content, go check out my page. Go check out the page with the playlist Wise Words. If you want to know if you're interested in buying this book and journal, if you want to have a little preview, a big preview, go look at my playlist Wise Words, okay? Save it. It has 6.5 million views for a reason, okay? Hi, Keisha. It has 6.5 million views for a reason. It's because this book is already going viral, all right? The public is just keep catching up to it now. But you guys have already been, like, literally loving this book for the last 3 months that I've been posting it. So now the copy and the rest is in here. So if you've been loving the posts and the journal prompts that I have been posting, go ahead and grab your copy. So the link for this is in the bio if you want to get the book. This is sold out, but you can also get it here. I know it's backwards, but you know what this is, okay? So you can get this here, and that is in my bio, okay? If you want this now. This is going to be a great holiday set. We are getting into the holiday season, and I was telling everybody, I'm like, we need to stop. We're getting the same thing over and over. That's not bettering anybody. Here you go. This is what mom and dad and the siblings, everybody's getting their Uncomfortable Truths journal and work. We're getting our workbook, and we're getting our reading, and this is going to be our winter reading so that we can go into next year more whole, complete, and an understanding of ourselves. Okay? We cannot heal what we're not aware of, guys. We cannot integrate what we're not aware of. So I'm going to randomly pull to one page of the book. Let's see. Let's see what the book has to say. Whew, what do we need to say? What is the collective need? Okay. Dang. You guys, 110 and 111. Was I not just talking about 111? We just had 111 not too long ago, and look what page that I turned to. We just had 111, so I know that 111 is a very potent one. Pharma, you can buy one that you should be able to shop. Can you guys see the book in the live? You should be able to see that in my TikTok shop right now. The book should be available if you're interested in the journal, which I highly recommend getting the journal. I almost recommend getting the journal more than this sometimes, because this is the actual work. This is the awareness. This is very potent. You like I said, you need this. Everyone should have a copy of this first and foremost for the awareness. But this is where you're going to be able to go deeper and understand and have more compassion. The reason why it's hard for you to heal your shadows is because you don't have compassion. Okay, I'll tell you that. One of the number one reasons why it's hard for you to integrate your shadow self and start to love all these parts of you is because you don't. You don't love the insecurities within you. You don't love the fact that you have anger. You don't love the fact that you have resentment. You don't love the fact that you have these insecurities because you've been conditioned to think that these parts of you are not enough. You've been conditioned to think that these parts of you are too much. You've been conditioned to think that these parts of you are bad. So you hide them down. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. So you shove them down and you push them down. And then you when you're single and you're not really romantically deeply connected to someone, you're good, you're fine, you're out here. Yeah, I'm doing good. You're focused. But as soon as you get into a romantic relationship, something deeply mirrors the relationship with mom and dad, and that person starts to bring out all the things in childhood that you have been trying to run away from. And you're just like, what the heck? This person makes me feel so anxious. As soon as you start getting connected, and especially if you're intimate, which is, we're going to go into this, okay? As soon as you start doing it. So that being said, let's read these, okay? So we're going to start with 110. Here is it on 110. So if you're reading through the book, here we go. Your father/mother is only loving towards you when you are not being honest with them about how they've made you feel. This may be why you find it hard to be honest in your relationships now. Did you hear me? Your father/mother is only loving towards you when you are not being honest with them with how they made you feel. This may be why you find it hard to be honest in your relationships now. How many of you have experienced where your parents, everything's great, everything's good. Your parent can be the most charming person. And a lot of narcissistic parents are charming. That's what's so annoying, is that your narcissistic parent, a lot of people in the community do like them. They are funny. They do crack jokes. They do dress really well. They are very lovable. And it's just annoying. You know what I'm saying? And so it's like, you get this, and even you love it. You love being with them. You love cutting up. You love like appeasing them. You love it. Those moments where you're good with your parent and you guys are laughing. It's so good. You love it. But as soon as you try to have a real conversation about where they may have crossed a boundary, or where you want to be honest about how them missing your son's birthday party really, hurt you, because this is a trauma that you haven't dealt with in childhood. A lot of times when you guys go on to have your own kids, your inner child with your parents start to get triggered again because you feel so upset that your child is now having to experience the same abuse and the same abandonment that you haven't dealt with from your childhood. So a lot of you guys start to get hyper protective and hypersensitive over your own children, especially around your parents, their grandparents, because you're like, no, I haven't dealt with this, and you used to make me feel like this. So like, perfect example, my sister, sometimes my mom would make comments on her body. She was a little bit more full, and she was more busty and more curvaceous than me. And so my mom had the same body type as my sister. So my mom would project onto my sister and always talk about how she's getting, you're filling out. You're getting a little full. These thighs. You know what, moms? You know what I'm talking about. Y'all know what I'm talking about. Okay. You're filling out. Wow. Okay. Wow. Those hips are spreading out. Yeah. Your hip, those things that you do where you're just like, is this supposed to be a compliment or what? This doesn't feel good. Like, why are you even? And so my sister was really sensitive to that. My sister became very sensitive to that, right? And she had a complex. And so she's always had issues, really loving where she's at in her skin and her body. So then she goes on to have two girls, of course, two other girls. My sister has two daughters and two nieces. And they are a little more full too. They're a little more curvaceous, just like her. And my mom was starting to say things to my niece and like starting to say things, not to them, but like, I think they need to starting the same thing. And my sister was like, no. Like all of a sudden, like my sister like just went from 0 to 100 one day. And we were just like, and my sister's usually very like really lax with my mom. She's very like, and she was like, no, you are not going to do this because you kept doing that. And I was just like, whoa. And I had no idea that trauma. And so she was like, maybe she didn't stand up for herself, but I'm definitely not going to let you do this to my daughters. And so this is what I tell my parents that I coach. You got to have that same energy for your own inner child as you do your actual children, because that reaction is because of how you didn't stand up for yourself. That reaction is because no one stood up for you when you were little. So because no one stood up for you when you were little, now you're on it. And people are just like, but it can be misdirected, right? That anger is misdirected because maybe it was the first time that mom, can we have a conversation like, hey, I just want to let you know that these are the boundaries that we're setting. We can have conversation, but when you haven't dealt with it, it's going to come out like, no, I don't want you talking to them. And then my mom's just like, geez, why not? And that shows this is why we can't have conversations. This is how we don't know, because we haven't done the work to regulate these emotions. So you see, my sister was 8, 9? My sister's about to be 48 years old, almost 50 years old, and still having an emotional reaction about what she did not deal with. She still has not sat with the hurt and allowed that little girl inside of her to say, that really hurt me, Mom, when you used to talk about my body. Finally, she's gotten it out. But look how long it's taken my sister to say, hey, Mom, all these times that you have talked about my body, you really, contributed to the fact that I didn't love myself. You made me feel bad about being a little bit bigger. You made me feel bad about looking different than other people. And now I see, because we've always had the same body type, it seems like you were talking about yourself, but you were just putting it on me. And that really hurt me. So the reason why I snapped at you when it comes to my daughters is because I don't want them to have these same thoughts. But see, it's just such a back and forth, because then for my sister, it is true that we do need to be healthy, right? We do need to make sure that we're healthy. And so where is the healthy balance though? Should we say nothing at all and just let people just not teach that the health? Because what my sister needed was not for someone to say, "Ooh, you're looking thick, you're gaining up." What she needed was for our mom to say, "Hey guys, I want to make sure that we eat some healthy broccoli. I want to make sure that we eat some grilled chicken. We've been eating a lot of fried foods lately, and I know that we love these foods. But as your mother, I want to make sure that you guys are getting a great start at life and that you guys know how to choose healthy options." Now, I'm not going to tell you what to eat. I'm not going to tell you what to eat, because it's not my job to monitor and police you, because that's very individual. But I do want to provide you the tools, and I want you to be able to discern, how do you feel when you eat a really healthy breakfast, lunch, and dinner versus if I just let you eat candy and cake? You don't feel good, right? Now eat what you want to eat, But I just want you to see how you feel. You say you don't have that energy. Well, what did you eat last night? These are the type of conversations that don't happen. But these are the type of conversations that are going to happen in my house if I have children. I'm not, let me educate you instead of picking on you. I'm the one giving you all the fried foods. I'm the one giving you all the shit. And then I have the audacity to point fingers at your fucking body. What does that mean? As a parent, make it make sense. I'm the one in charge of buying the groceries. I'm the one in charge of cooking. I'm the one in charge of feeding you. And then I have the motherfucking audacity after feeding you and being the sole reason on why you look the way you look. I have the audacity to point fingers and make it seem like it's some fucking rocket science that you're gaining some weight when all I do is feed you fried foods and macaroni and cheese and go out to eat all the time. Of course, I'm going to be a little bit heavier. I look just like you because I eat just like you. What are you talking about? This is wild. And some parent, you're so hard on the kids, so hard on them. Look at it. And this is why you're not doing good in your sports, because you're always over here eating all these snacks. Why the fuck is it in the house? I'm learning this from you. I eat it with you. You're the one who has all the shit. Don't buy it then. No, you want it too. No, what it is that you cope, mom. You and mom and dad cope with the snacks too. Mom and dad love the sugar too. And because you hate the fact that you do this, and because you can't stand your body, and because you know you're gaining weight, mom, but you don't want to look in the mirror because you can't hold yourself accountable, you want to project that onto your child who's doing the same fucking thing that you're doing. You're a hypocrite. You're being a hypocrite. That's what you're doing. You're being a hypocrite. You're so angry at yourself and you have so much self-hatred, but you don't want to look in the mirror and admit that you project it onto an innocent child that you know can't fight back. And you cause them to be just like you. And this is why we grow up and do the same fucking thing to our children. This is why we grow up and repeat the patterns. And sometimes we can be just like the parent, and we can be just like the critical parent, or we can be super laxed. So if you were raised by a super critical, tight-knit parent, you could have become super critical, tight-knit, or you could be the parent that just lets your kid do anything, right? Have you seen that? Do whatever you want. Stay up till midnight. Eat whatever you want. And you can do that too. And it's not coming from a place of you being like, I just, I had so many rules, and it was just too much. Yes, that's true. So it is coming from that, but it's also coming from a place of you having a deep-rooted fear of your kid hating you the same way that you can't stand your parent. You don't want your children, you don't want to have the same bad, negative relationship that you have with your parent. So you're like, if I do everything the opposite, then my kid will love me. But really, your kid is just not learning how to respect like you, are not learning boundaries, not learning rules, not learning how to exist, amongst society. That's really what you're creating, because you want your kid to be your best friend. Because you wanted your mom to be your best friend. And so you're trying to recreate what you didn't get in your own childhood with the dynamic with you and your kid right now. And it's like, that is too far on the pendulum. They still need to learn boundaries and rules and how to, because not everyone is just going to let them get away with shit like you do. You know what I'm saying? You're setting them up for people to be not wanting to be around them. So you got to have that balance where you let them be that individual, but you also teach them that not everybody you're not going to be everyone's cup of tea, babe. And that's okay. Because if you try to save them from every single ounce of disappointment, what happens when they get disappointed? They're not going to know how to cope with it. That's how. So that tells me that mom, dad, you don't know how to cope with disappointment still. When you're trying to save your kid from coping with certain things, when you're trying to save them, that lets me know that you still haven't done the work to get to that point. That's all it tells me. And I'm not pointing blame at you. But it goes back to the very same example. When a parent goes up to a kid, a parent sees their 5-year-old do this on the playground, right? So the parent witnesses the 5-year-old do this to another kid on the playground. And then the parent goes up and says, "Don't hit them." That makes no fucking sense. Well, why don't you show me what I am supposed to do by having a conversation? So if you don't want me to hit the kid, why don't you, as a parent, we're supposed to be emotionally intelligent enough to say the reason why he hit the kid is because he doesn't know how to articulate what he's feeling. So the way that we do it is through movement. The first thing that we learn as humans is not speech, but movement, right? And so he's doing this. So maybe as a parent, we can say, well, the person's frustrated, but just because we're frustrated doesn't mean that we hit. And so instead of reinforcing the same thing that you don't want them to do, why don't you use this as a teachable moment? So you pull the kid over and you sit down and say, hey, why did you hit? Talk me through the hitting. What's going on? Are you frustrated? And you give different options to help them understand, because you've already done this work, right? Assuming that you've already done this work to be prepared for the job. You see, you don't have to go through an interview process before you become a parent. You see, no one's interviewing you to see if you qualify and if you're actually at the mental capacity to have a parent. You can just have one. You see? And even when you know that you don't, now you can't. You know, even when you know that you don't have the capacity, now you just have to figure it out. You know, even if you know that you wouldn't be a good fit, even if you knew that, you just got to figure it out now. But so, you know, it's time to teach, but how can you teach from tools that you were not given? But as a parent, it's your responsibility to go find those tools. This is why when someone signs up for coaching with me, when someone signs up for my program, that lets me know that they are seeking the tools to be better parents. When I have parents sign up with me, that lets me know that these particular parents are seeking the tools. These particular parents are not using this excuse, well, I don't have the tools. These particular parents are waking the fuck up and saying, I'm part of the problem. These particular parents are saying, I am being a hypocrite if I'm over here still upset, over 30 years of my dad not holding himself accountable. But meanwhile, I'm over here gaslighting my own fucking child. Make it make sense. You're over here saying my dad still hasn't said sorry for the 30 years of abuse that he put me through. But meanwhile, you still haven't said sorry for something that you were fucking wrong at. And I don't care that you're an adult, and I don't care that you're a parent. You can still be wrong, and oftentimes you are wrong a lot. If you would stop talking so much and get out of your ego and get out of your pride, you would actually learn more from the children. But you're so fixated on being right. You're so focused on being the adult because now it's your turn. Now the child who got bullied grew up and became the bully. You didn't like to hear that, did you? You didn't want to hear that. Now the child who got bullied grew up and became the bully. You didn't want to hear that shit. That's in the book too. That's in the book. Oh, I forgot we were reading the book. Okay, so this is this. Your father, mother is only loving towards you when you are not being honest with them about how they made you feel. This may be why you find it hard to be honest in your relationships now. Or do your children find it hard? Can you tell energetically that your child is scared to be honest with you? Can you tell energetically that your children don't really feel safe to be completely honest with you about how you've made them feel? I know you can tell, and it makes you feel like shit. You know you're energetically tapped in. You're very in tune. You know that your kids want to say more to you, but they don't feel safe with you because of how you respond. When you blow up and you get angry, that doesn't make people feel safe around you, and you know it. And you can't fucking stand it. That's what makes you feel insecure in relationships, because you have not learned how to cope with your anger, and you project it onto your children. So your children have learned and adapted. And so this is why they don't tell you everything. This is why children lie to you. This is why children omit things. Because you're not a safe space to make mistakes. You're not a safe space to fail. You're not a safe space to do something wrong. When that's the very space that you should be. Because why at 8 years old should they know how to fucking do everything? At 8 years old, they should be done. You don't even know shit. You don't even know how to do it. But you're over here beating on somebody that's 8 years old. They have an excuse on why they don't know how to regulate their emotions at this age. What is yours? This is some of the things y'all need to hear, or some of your parents need to hear. This is either for you as the parent, or this is for your inner child, and this is what your parents need to hear. Okay? Enough is enough. If you want to walk around here being disempowered all day, scared to speak up, then so be it. But stop complaining when you're not where you want to be. Okay? At some point, you got to look in the mirror and say, how am I contributing to my own suffering? At some point, it's not mom and dad. Okay? The fact that my dad didn't go to my graduation in high school tore me up. Okay? The fact that my dad made a conscious decision not to go to my high school graduation and support me tore me up when I looked out in the crowd and I did not see him, and I said, I knew it. At that moment, I remember it distinctly. At that moment, whatever bit of worthiness that I had left was gone. I remember being at my graduation party afterwards, the grad night thing that they do afterwards, and I just remember being like empty that night. I just was empty, and it was just like, no matter how much I do, because I graduated with a 4.5 GPA, summa cum laude. My mom and dad were both teachers, so I was like, my dad's gonna be so proud of me. My dad is a teacher, and when he finds out that his daughter not only graduated with honors, but graduated with summa cum laude, he is finally gonna give me the approval that I've been wanting. And when that, oh my God, when I looked out and he didn't even fucking show up, whatever bit of hope I had left that I was worthy of something good was shattered that night. It was gone. And I remember I started going down a spiral of just like letting men have their way, letting men do whatever they want. I just remember just being like, you know what? Fuck it. When I do the right thing, when I'm a good girl, when I don't do things bad, I don't have sex, I'm not doing anything, I don't do drugs, I don't do any of this shit. All I do is do good jobs. You still don't fucking care. So you know what? I'm going to start getting into some shit. I'm going to start just putting myself out there. I want to start trying some shit. That's how I felt. Because I was like, you don't care. You don't care what I do. You don't care if I'm a good girl. You don't care about nothing. All you care about is yourself. You don't care what I do. So fuck it. I'm over here not having fun because I'm trying to appease you. I'm over here not doing anything while all the other high schoolers are out here getting wasted and doing all this stuff. And I'm being here sober all the time, which is good. Obviously, looking back, I'm glad I didn't, because I probably wouldn't. I'm glad I didn't do all that stuff. But I didn't do anything, you guys. All through my 20s, I was just over here. I barely even, I didn't do anything because I was over here trying to, but no one was paying attention to me either way. Whether I was good or bad, no one was paying attention. No one was saying, hey, what's going on? Hey. Like my dad every once in a while, hey, make sure you pick up your clarinet, kid. Don't lose your clarinet. I love that you play music. Yeah, you love it. That's why you would come to my concerts with a book. Or yeah, you love it. Why didn't you come listen to me? You love it. You always want to say, give me some advice about make sure you don't lose touch with your instrument. You didn't even fucking come see it. Stop. Like that's the kind of stuff, we feel that. And a lot of you guys have this same resentment. Like when your dad that's estranged that you don't even see, right? You have a dad that's in and out of your life, right? Or a parent that's in and out of your life. Now, let me not even just stereotype. You have a parent that's in and out of your life, right? And then all of a sudden, the semi-annual or the yearly time they come in, they're like, hey, I told you shouldn't be dating that guy, or trying to give you some advice. And you're like, bitch, you're the reason why I'm dating this motherfucker. Your absence is the reason why I'm dating this person that's treating me like shit. It's because you're treating me like shit. How dare you try to give me advice and tell me what this motherfucker's not doing? What about you? Isn't that some crazy ass shit? Have you guys experienced that with your parents where you're just like, you telling me what the fuck? I'm dating them because of you. I'm dating them because I'm trying to get your attention. Is it working? I'm dating you because I'm doing it because I'm trying to get you to pay attention to me. What I really want is you to give a damn. Okay? You have the audacity to tell me something. Give me life advice. You haven't even been here. You have the audacity to have an opinion on what I'm doing for a living. Where you been? Maybe I wouldn't be doing this if you would have had some influence when I was younger, when it counted. You know the formative years that you missed. If you wanted to formulate an opinion, you should have formulated them in childhood, okay? These are the things that your parents need to hear, you guys. These are the type of conversations that you need to push back with. Stop letting them talk all over you and you're just over here a ticking time bomb, and then because of some reason you can't say this to dad and then you cuss your kids out later. Your kids don't deserve that shit. The person who deserves to hear how you feel is your dad. But for some reason you're fawning and appeasing him. For some reason you still got him on a pedestal because for some reason you still want his validation so bad. You still want his validation more than the validation of your own children who are here ready to love you. You don't want to spend time with them. They actually want to spend time with you, but you're still hung up on the fact that he doesn't. They actually want you to go to the park. They actually want to be present with you, but you're still so fixated on the fact that he doesn't. They're not enough. You see how you're already perpetuating the cycle? Your kids are already starting to feel like they're not enough because you are always over here. Because if I could just get this person to pay attention to me, then I could finally know that I'm a good person or a good parent. If they could just validate then I could feel like I'm actually a good mother instead of focusing on your kids and just being a good mother regardless of what the fuck they think about it. Okay? Am I a psychologist? No, I just really love this. I think it's just in me. I just really love humans and how we think. I've always loved serial killer. I got my degree in criminology, so it started with like I always loved like the serial killer stuff, and not because of the gore and all that and the sensationalism, but just because it was always just so incredibly fascinating to me how someone can think, you know, how someone can just do that, like how someone can literally just unalive somebody and then just go home and have some milk and cookies. You know what I'm saying? I think that is absolutely fascinating. Not good, not beautiful, not anything. Just fascinating how someone can just do something 1 minute, go crazy, unalive, and then just sit on the couch. Or when people snap, like when you have these crimes of passion, you have these kids that like their children or whatever that like unalive their whole family. I got to talk to the kid. There's something that happened and I want to get to the bottom of it because I believe there is a small percentage of people that may have been born with that chemical imbalance. Yes, that's true. But I can trace it back 99.9999 back to experiences in childhood. And that's what's so interesting is that there's a reason and that I can prove that people are not inherently like this. And I can prove how it's society that is creating this and that is failing us and that's creating these people in jail. It is society that is the reason why we have all these crimes of passion and all this shit, because society is failing us, because our curriculums in our schools is not teaching people how to think, it's teaching people what to think. And when you teach people what to think, that is because you are trying to control them. Yes, I talked to my dad. Yeah, yesterday. He's doing really well. And so this is why our system is for indoctrination, and this is why I'm writing a new curriculum that I'm going to be selling to people in the future. I'm writing a curriculum that focuses on emotional intelligence, leadership skills, financial literacy, how to cope with your emotions, how to talk. This is the stuff that I'm going to teach. We're going to have math, we're going to have English, we're going to have history, we're going to have those things. But we're going to have the majority of how you fucking can live out here, because a lot of us are getting our ass kicked right now as adults because we don't have no fucking skills. We don't know how to leadership and step in. We're all scared. We're all scared to step in of our leadership. So now that holds us back. We don't know how to cope and have conversations. So that holds us back. We don't know how to know financial literacy. We don't know how to fucking do nothing. I'm lucky that my mom has a really, really financially literate grandfather. He didn't have no emotional intelligence, but he was very financially literate. So you see how we have bits and pieces. My dad was very emotionally intelligent, but he don't have no financial literacy. So you see how my mom was the breadwinner and my dad was the emotional artist. My mom was the logical type A, money, gotta make sure all the bills are paid on time. My dad is let it flow, baby, and take a little shit. Let it flow, baby. You gotta feel it. You know, and so they were so like, and so I got the best of both of them. This is why I bought a house at like 25 years old. So my mom nailed it in. You need to start saving. And my dad's like, fuck all that. Live your life. So I have a house, but I also traveled to 60 countries by the time I was like 27 years old, which a lot of people can't say. And so while my parents did a lot of shit, they also really taught me some really good stuff, right? That allowed me to have some beautiful moments in my life. So our parents are not all bad. You're just so focused on the negative all day because you have not reconciled it. But once you reconcile it, you're going to see, I wish I didn't spend so much time being angry. I wish I had let myself be happier. The 7 regrets of the dying. Can I go get this? So, or the top 5 regrets of the dying. I got this book for my mom because I want to do a book club. I'm going to go grab the book so I can read them for you. Grab your pen and paper. If you don't have a pen and paper, you're going to want to grab it right now. So not me getting another book on my own book thing. Let me do it because TikTok going to say that's not the book that you're supposed to be promoting. I'm going to show y'all guys in a second, but it's called The Top 5 Regrets. You can look it up, but we'll go through it. But anyway, let me finish this. Do you see this ADHD? Look at me. You see I'm moving all over the place. You see us? Hi, ADHD people. Are we? Thank you, Bree. I appreciate you so much. Are we in the same room together? Do you guys feel seen? Are you guys catching up? A lot of you guys like my lives because of how fast I talk, because it's like, you like it because we're ADHD together. And you're like, I just talk so fast in all the circles and I'm all over the place and I keep it interesting. I know. You guys can. A lot of people are like, you talk so fast. Like, you're just so much. I'm like, the people that are used to it, like, they get it. Like, I don't have to do it. People get it. Like, for real, I'm not talking too fast. Just, hurry up. All right? We got places to be. Get to the point. I've already finished the story and created an alternate ending. You know what? When people tell me stories, I've already finished the story. I already know what you're going to say. I've been know what you're going to say. And I went back, did it over, and created an alternate ending. Like, we already have an alternate ending already, babe. Get to it. Just tell me the ending. All right. So now, page 111. So those of you, page 111, all right? If you've been seeing, we just had the 111 portal the other day. It's a very powerful day. The 111 portal was my 6-year anniversary of leaving corporate America and moving to LA. So back then, I didn't even know anything about angel numbers in 2018. I was not in my awakening at all. I was just being led, very lightly led. And I didn't know it. I didn't know it then, but I was just following my heart. That's why I'm so proud of my pal Self for being brave enough to say, I'm quitting this shit and I'm packing up everything and I'm moving across the country. And everybody was like, what the hell? And I'm like, I don't care. I need to get out of here. I can't expand in this small town with this small thinking. I need to get around people that don't think like me. I need to get around people that are driven. I need to get around people that are entrepreneurs. I can't thrive in this town where everybody, it doesn't care to do the same shit. Everybody just wants to go to the same school, do the same job, have the same amount of kids, have the same Honda Pilot, and have the same suburban neighborhood with where it has a HOA. I don't want that. I'm not downing it. I'm not, trust me saying that, if you have that and that's what you want the HOA and the white picket fence and the 2.5 kids, I love that for you. But I don't fucking want a traditional lifestyle at all. I want a family and kids, but I want to be traveling in Spain. I want to teach my kids myself through my own curriculum. I want to teach my kids and homeschool them and have the means financially to be like, hey guys, we're going to stay in Africa this whole summer because I want you guys to learn about your roots and we are going to give back to our community and our ancestry, and you're gonna know that you come from kings and queens. I'm gonna make sure you fucking know your history. You're gonna know that you don't come from slaves. You come from kings and queens. You come from royalty. This is your history, and I'll be damned if I willingly allow my children to go learn this bullshit and this indoctrination. This is why I'm working so hard to have the financial means to live the life on my fucking terms. Because we put so much emphasis on money in this society. Money, even though money's not worth shit unless you make it worth shit. Money's not worth nothing unless you make it worth something. So since someone had the bright fucking idea to make it worth something, you have to be a key player you need to have some damn money if you actually want to live life on your terms. And you can't, and I'm not talking about trading your time for money. I'm talking about making your own passive income. You got to be making money in your sleep. You got to be reinvesting. You have to be having something on the side because you can see the inflation and your salary is not raising. The inflation in your fixed corporate salary is not raising. But guess what happens with me with inflation? My prices can go up because I am in control of my fucking prices. I'm in control of my salary. Hi, Rach. So when inflation comes up, I'm like, damn, I don't want to do it, but my prices go up. But I can control that. And I'm deserving of that. And that makes sense. What doesn't make sense is why these corporations all of a sudden can't give you guys enough money. Those of you that are still working in corporation, I don't understand why there's never enough money for you guys to make enough living, but every time you're getting some type of meeting saying, or you're getting some type of email saying, oh, the shareholders just got $6.8 billion in dividends and revenues and stock shares or whatever the fuck. Damn, it just seems like that email conveniently comes up to your desk as soon as you get back from the conversation in the little office. You know how they email you and they IM you and they say, hey, we're ready for you now. And then you walk in and it's like this weird fucking like fucking game show or some shit where you sit down and you're just sitting here heart pounding. Are they going to see my worth? I hope they see my worth. Are they going to see my worth? I hope they see my worth. And you go in and you're trying to be on your best behavior. I don't know why, because they already made the decision. And so they're like, so, hi, and you can tell. So, hey, how you doing today? Good. Yeah, good. Okay. And they're all sitting here. So, we're doing our merit reviews and we've been looking at everything. And when we look at your year in review, the good things that we saw is that, you made sure that you were always in the year. I think that you were the top person to close cases for the whole year. So can we please give her a round of applause? Yes, you were the number one person to close cases. You closed the most. Okay? You closed the most out of everyone. But that being said, you also had the most mistakes, Because, and that makes sense, right? When you think about the ratio, when you think about how many cases that you close, if you're closing the most out of everyone, it would make sense for you to make a lot more mistakes than someone who's not. That's just basic math, right? And you're still sitting here like, yeah. And so that kind of makes you think, well, okay, so they get it. They get it now. So even though I made mistakes, they just proved to me why it makes sense why I'd have more, because I did more work. So they're still going to give me the raise. And so, yeah, when we tried to push it to the people who do this, they were like, yeah, we just can't reward someone who is making that mistake. Even though that you did so many, it wouldn't be fair for people who just didn't make that many mistakes. So what we can do for you, what we're going to do, we're still going to do this. And instead of doing the 15 cents like we gave everybody else, we're going to do 7 cents and a slice of pizza. Yeah, the slice of pizza is actually at your desk. I know. You don't have to do anything. It's at your desk because we don't, yeah, you need to work. Go back to work. Yeah, no. The slice of pizza is actually at your desk right now. When you left, we made sure we put it there so it's hot. They just put it there. Go ahead and work at your desk while you're eating it. And so, yeah, we're going to do 7 cents, which is, it comes out to, $19.20 more a year. Okay? Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Yeah, I know. So, yeah, you made, $19.07 a year now extra. You know what? I mean, how many coffees can you get? 1. I know. Okay.